Aloha everybody, it is I, the Great Clement, and welcome to part 3 of Sonic Advance 3, ladies and gentlemen. So now we are collecting our second Chaos Emerald with miles, tails per hour. I'm going to try and get a Chaos Emerald with every character in the game, just so they all have a chance riding on top of the Tornado 2. I would assume their partner is the one driving the Tornado 2. Like right now I'd have Sonic in the cockpit, but they don't actually have a sprite sticking out or anything, because, you know. Though if there was a sprite sticking out, you'd think Sonic's head would be big enough that it would be poking out. I don't know. Whatevers, you know. I guess one thing I should mention about the special stages, especially since coming up, we're going to start seeing some bullet bill type badniks in the special stages. Not only do you have bombs to dodge, but you actually have regular enemies to dodge in the special stages eventually too. And they have some bullet bill type guys who shoot missiles at you as well as you can't run into them. And your main character can jump while in the special stages, and you can actually jump on those badniks and kill them for 5 rings each. So it takes a little bit of specific timing, not to mention because they're shooting bullets at you, that it's kind of tricky to get up close to them and jump on them. But, you know, those are the bullet bill enemies right there. If I jumped on those guys, I would get 5 rings. However, if I don't jump and they run into me, well then I'm going to lose rings. So you got to be a little bit careful with the badniks, of course. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves our second Chaos Emerald, the blue Chaos Emerald. And that's only 5 more to go. And the same goes for the zones. There's only 5 more zones to go in the whole game, too. But, as always, we cleared 3 acts, and so we have to go to Dr. Eggman and beat him in order to advance to the next zone in the game. That's a minigame transporter, but I'm not going to use that. Again, I have 9 lives. Actually, I have more than 9 lives. They don't count 10 and such on screen, but you can get more than 10 or so. So it's like an invisible live counter where I could have like 99 lives. I could die like 10 times and it'll still say 9 in the bottom left corner. Not sure why they couldn't just add 1 more digit, but whatever. Because you can't have more than 9 lives. You can have more than 12 or so. Anywho, folks, it's time for Big Bad Dr. Eggman in Sunset Hill. He's driving around in a big ball. He's rolling around the entire arena, and the whole gray part, it'll hurt you. If you try jumping into the gray part, you will get damaged. So you have to try and jump into the dome part, the glass part. So what makes this boss fight pretty fun and interesting is that it's really just a timing kind of thing. Like, you're keeping a lookout for the ball that's rolling around the arena, and when you finally see it, you're trying to jump into Eggman at the right time, like I just did there. Like, I had to run away from Eggman, because if I tried jumping at him from where I wasn't going to hit him, but I kept running away from him until his glass dome showed up, and then I hit him, and I think this boss fight's pretty fun and unique. Some people may be displeased that Sonic Advance 3 did not bring back the Sonic Advance 2 method of boss fights, where every time you were battling Dr. Eggman, he was running away from you, and you were chasing him the entire boss fight, you know? That's what you said last time. But Sonic Advance 3 ditched that whole chasing Eggman boss style that Sonic Advance 2 had. And honestly, I'm perfectly fine with that. I've always felt that Eggman boss fights are the best when they're a platforming challenge and you're just kind of, you know, manipulating it. Like, Eggman's moving around you and you have to battle him that way. And I have nothing against Sonic Advance 2's boss style, but I wouldn't want to see that again for a 3rd game. The thing about Sonic Advance 2 was that although the bosses had their own little gimmicks, they were all just chasing, and it was pretty much the same kind of pattern recognition for each boss fight. Just a little bit. It'd be hard to keep, you know, improving on that formula. Anywho, folks, now I'm going to play as Knuckles, and we're going to have Sonic, the fighting buddies, who apparently Sonic's not too thrilled about it. And let's try gliding and climbing a wall. Oh... So yeah, this is one of the negative things about team-ups. Depending on which team you want to be, sometimes these characters get nerfed bad. Knuckles cannot glide or climb walls when he is teamed up with Sonic. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to switch it so that Tails is my partner, because having Sonic as my partner completely destroys the whole fun of being Knuckles. God damn it, guys. God damn it. You know what's really disappointing about that, though? I mean, my favorite characters in these games would be Sonic and Knuckles. I want to be the best main characters I want to be. I want to be Sonic and Knuckles, the big duo, you know? But the way the platforming is, I would really like a flying type character, or a character who can launch me high, or some kind of I just want some agility and stuff, so I can reach certain areas that I shouldn't be able to reach. Excuse me. I just want, you know, more agility and whatnot, so I can reach areas that I wouldn't be able to reach normally, and, the fact that Sonic and Knuckles are such a bad team is disappointing. I mean, it's Sonic and Knuckles! Most people who play the Genesis games want to play as Sonic and Knuckles. They are the best characters in this game. I want to play as Sonic and Knuckles. But when you're Knuckles, instead of gliding, he does a headbutt, which is completely useless in a boss fight. You can still jump into enemies and be just as more effective, if not more. And I don't know what the point of that flying headbutt is. I don't want a headbutt, I want to glide. I want to climb walls. Why would you nerf Knuckles just because Sonic is my partner? It's like, I understand that Sonic and Knuckles don't get along, because, like, they're completely different characters. Sonic likes to have fun, Knuckles is kind of serious, I get that. But, not earlier this year, we just played Sonic Heroes, where Sonic not only teamed up with Knuckles, but he also teamed up with Tails, and they had no problem getting along there. They used their skills to their advantage in that situation. I don't care if they don't like each other. They would still be a better team than this. Come on, Knuckles! We gotta do the superpower of teamwork! But, if you're not teamed up with Sonic, Knuckles usually acts the same way as he did in all the other games. With Tails, he actually gets a little bit of a double jump thing when he starts his glide. Like, he actually goes up first, then he starts gliding forward. And then he can climb walls and whatnot, and everything's all hunky-dory with Knuckles. Again, Knuckles is still a great character to play as long as you're not teaming up with Sonic, because for some reason they just nerf him and make him very shitty when he's with Sonic. I don't get it, but whatever. And here we are at Ocean Base, which I'm surprised has not been an Eggman theme yet. Like, fuck, Mega Man had an ocean theme, like an underwater base theme, tons of times in Mega Man, and yet, Dr. Eggman, the brilliant scientist he is, he must know Sonic can't swim, and yet he never built a base underwater? I mean, really? Really? This is like be the most ideal place to battle Sonic the Hedgehog. He can't swim, how could he get in here? I mean, obviously Tails could make a submarine or something, but like, without Tails, Sonic has no way of getting in here! Also, we heard earlier, Dean Bristow says, you know, he said his line after he got beaten. All the characters have voices in this game. This is the first Sonic Advance game to have voices. Sonic Advance 1 and 2 did not have voices at all. And all the same cast from Sonic Heroes returned for this game. Ryan Drummond is Sonic. William Corkery is Tails, but luckily this is a 2D game with hardly any voiceovers, so you barely hear Tails. So don't worry if you're upset that William Corkery is Tails, he barely talks. Scott Dreer is Knuckles, Jennifer Dooleyard is Amy, Sarah Wolfbeck is Cream, and of course Dean Bristow is Dr. Eggman. As it should be. But this is the absolute last game to have the Sonic Adventure voice actors. I mentioned before in Sonic Heroes that Sonic Heroes was the last 3D game to have the Sonic Adventure voice actors. Sonic Advance 3 is absolutely the last game to have Dean Bristow, Ryan Drummond, and all those characters, and they will be missed. They've always been my favorite voice cast of the group. Ryan Drummond has always been my favorite Sonic, Jennifer Dooleyard my favorite Amy, Scott Dreyer my favorite Knuckles. So, you know, tis a shame, but, you know. It is interesting they added voices this time for Sonic Advance 3, so now every time Sonic does a double jump, he goes, yeah! And every time you get killed, in fact, they actually go, oh no! I remember Amy, I think Amy has like this crying like voice act. Like she has a crying voice when she gets crushed by blocks and stuff. I forget. But anywho. The actual level design of Ocean Base, you know, I've already said before, I think Sonic Advance 3 is the weakest because of its level design. And again, I just think Ocean Base, it has way too many spikes, it has way too many crushing blocks that can really kill you really badly. It has the sand waterfalls type of stuff that Sandopolis had. I guess in this case it's supposed to be oil, maybe? Because I don't know why sand would be here. But you jump up and up and up and up and keep going through the waterfall, but now they have all these enemies that drill into you while you're going up that waterfall, and they're annoying as fuck. And a lot of underwater sections here as well. Lots of enemies you can't dodge because the spring knocks you into them. Ocean Base is one of my least favorite zones in the game. It's not as hard as the later levels in the game, but it's just kind of frustrating in the way they want you to platform. They have a whole bunch of propeller platforms that you have to constantly keep jumping on in order to reach higher through the area. Oh, and surprise spikes, those are always fun. But they have a whole bunch of propeller things that you have to jump on, but you can't like do a huge jump. You have to do like a whole bunch of tiny jumps, because if you keep doing huge jumps, then you know, it'll go down a lot more than it came up and such. So I like the idea of Ocean Base. It's a underwater base for Dr. Eggman. One that would later get reused in that terrible fucking Sonic 06 piece of shit. Sorry. Sorry, I really hate that game. Also, Ocean Base's theme song's not very memorable at all. It's like Route 99, you instantly memorize it because it's so catchy. Sunset Hills, oh, it's Green Hill Zone. I love that song. The boss theme, man, this boss theme's awesome. Then you get to Ocean Base and it's like, yeah, I'll remember this when I stop playing the game. That's a lie. No, you won't. As you can see in the top left, Knuckles has a power icon. There are certain walls in Sonic Advance 3 that can only be destroyed by power types. So Knuckles is really essential for getting through certain walls. In fact, I'm going to be talking about Knuckles' tag action next, because with the power of editing, I've magically warped to playing as Sonic. That doesn't happen. You don't get to push a button and you can switch characters. I did that through editing. I went back to the main ring thing and I changed to Sonic. And I'm going to be doing that constantly throughout the LP, so get used to that. When Sonic is teamed up with Knuckles, his somersault becomes a fire somersault, so it's a lot more powerful and it can get through walls now. Like, it can get through walls a lot easier. The tag action with Knuckles, you throw him when you're standing, and when you throw him at walls, he can destroy them. And when you jump into it, he can glide, and the character can ride Knuckles as he glides. However, the one disappointing thing, when he goes to a wall, you can't climb up the wall. So you can glide if Knuckles is your tag partner, but you can't climb a wall with him. I thought that would have been awesome. That would have really made him a useful tag partner, and it would have really showcased Knuckles' strength, you know? Like, if Sonic, like, he was riding on top of Knuckles as he glides to a wall, then he gets to the wall and he starts climbing the wall with Sonic still on his back and such. I would have thought that made Knuckles such a powerful, awesome character. But no, he can't climb the wall with someone on him, unfortunately. Damn shameful. Knuckles is like one of the worst characters to play in the game, tag partner-wise, because, like, I'd rather have a double jump thing that Tails and Amy can offer, you know? And, we'll see what Cream's tag ability is later, but it's useful as well. And Knuckles, his is just for destroying walls and gliding. I honestly don't like gliding unless I can climb a wall. It just doesn't feel necessary to build up the whole tag gauge thing where, you know, he gets into your arms and all that stuff just so you can glide like 2 feet into a wall and fall to your death, you know? Gliding and climbing a wall are like second nature to me. I can't imagine gliding without climbing the wall. It just feels unnatural, you know? I've been playing Sonic so long that if I'm not climbing a wall when I hit it, it doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel right to me. It's like, this isn't how Knuckles feels. This is weird. But I digress. One thing you'll see here, after I got the last Chow, the key showed up right in front of me, and I picked it up right away. Because again, the key shows up as soon as you've gotten all 10 Chow in the level. So the key now appears in the act, and I was just lucky enough to find the key right away. Boom, there it is, I got it, so I can go to the special stage right away. Anyway, that's part 3, that's Sonic & Knuckles, and I will see you in part 4. Toodles.